All right, I had to actually take off a little early today, but I wanted to go over what I was watching. Was watching J.P. Morgan short. That was the one that I had a feeling about. I'll go over the trade in a second. URBN, I was watching above 4501, PBR above 831. Again, we're watching for the setups that we teach above these levels. Watching fast above 42. Watching ZIOP above 1077. JCP, which I actually removed this really before the market opened. It pulled back a lot. It was trading up on the retail numbers. But JCP, there was a nice level 957. So we were watching all of these. This was basically our watch list for the morning. Now, JPM, and I only traded a half day today, but it was a great half day. JPM, I was watching short based on the news and the rates rising. And if you guys remember not too long ago when rates were supposed to go up and there was rumors of a rate rise and the removing the bond buying programs, and that was supposed to affect interest rates and all that stuff. So with that news, the housing stocks, every time they reported earnings, they would beat and then they would gap up and then they would sell off. And I just had a feeling this JPM was going to do the same thing. And if it's not holding the level, which is 63.50 is the level, if it's not holding the level, and I've got a feeling that it's going to be a good short, I went ahead and shorted it. And we shorted it with a low day target, which we got. We started covering some 63, and then covered the rest down here near the lows. But it was a nice trade, a nice simple trade, and easy money here, again, right off the watch list. And I love making money off the watch list because that's the stuff that you have time to think about and do some due diligence on. It's not intraday poppers or scanner plays.
Selecting Caterpillar and
scanner plays can be good for scalps, but
ECP
I really like the stuff that you have time
as
to
his
do due
picks
diligence on and
on
actually do a little
CNBC.
research on and get a really good feeling about what's going on, about the company. I'm not a big fundamental person, but I do look at the multiples, the float, and all that stuff, and that stuff takes a little while to go through, get the sentiment on the forums and Twitter and stock twits and all that stuff. So JP Morgan short was a nice trade. This is not something I want to make a habit out of, though, stocks that are breaking out and shorting them. This is not something that I want to make a habit of. And I always tell members to, buy strong stocks on pullbacks and short weak stocks on bounces. So the next play that we made was this WUBA right here. And this was a really nice play. Left a little on the table, and that's okay because you're never going to get all of it, right? So the stock was popping up, and this was a counterintuitive, so to speak, because it had technically negative news about the partnership with Baidu. They were looking at somebody else, blah, 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 and the stock's rallying. And I like that. I like those plays where you're going to have a lot of traders short.
AVP, Avon, exploring strategic alternatives according to sources reported by
the stock does what I like to call
Dow
a day
Jones,
trader squeeze.
halted on a circuit breaker, alpha,
it's not necessarily
Victor,
a short squeeze like you would think from a stock that has a high short interest, but a lot of day traders might have been shorting this and they're going to get squeezed out. This WBAI had a very similar play where the news was mainly negative. They're going to be cutting off revenues and the stock squeezes. So same thing kind of here on this WUBA. And we got long on the break again. Just very simple setups. Very, very simple setups.
Avon reviewing possible sale of North American operations.
Right, which we will teach you if you decide to become a member. 5-minute setup here. Stop at the low here. Selling the break of the highs. Selling through 62. And just a very simple scalp. I was in this thing not very long and made a nice chunk of change on a couple thousand shares. And overall, the morning ended up good. So that's the only two trades we made. Again, just because the market's not booming and it's not very busy, there's still opportunity to make money, right? Not every day is going to be green. You're not going to hit every trade every day, but we have a system that works very, very well, and hopefully we'll see you in the room. And I just want to thank everybody that's been sending us the referrals. We really appreciate it. The room and our service is bigger now than it's ever been, and it's still a lot of people just following along and learning, and we love to help people and help people make money. And hopefully we will see you tomorrow in the room. Thanks for watching the video.